Today we're making the best leftover rice stir fry in the world, and it's going to be super quick. You probably know this too. There's always some meat left over. A bit of beef, a bit of pork, and a bit of chicken. And for the vegetables, we'll take whatever the fridge has left. Here we have, for example, a small bell pepper, a few sugar snap peas, broccoli, mushrooms, a bit of chili pepper. Of course, you can also use chili flakes. Garlic is usually also at home. I think everyone has a bit of rice in their drawer, oil and a bit of vegetable broth. These are just examples. You use what you find left in the fridge. It's important not to throw anything away, but to create something nice out of it. We'll start with the vegetables. That's the quickest part. We're cutting the broccoli into florets. You take what's left over. And if the peas are from the freezer, that works too. So first, cut it into florets. And even the stem, I cut it into small pieces like this. Because when we saute it and have it chopped up, it works wonderfully for using it up. I've shown you bell peppers before. I always cut off the top and the bottom part, and then just slice through with this nice sharp chef's knife. And now we have completely deseeded it, and we cut these pieces just as small. And here, break apart the cap, remove the stem, and separate everything. Wash it once, and now we can cut our bell pepper into even pieces. The eye is in it, even when it comes to using up leftovers. And also the tip of the pod, nothing gets thrown away. And the mushrooms, which I've already cleaned a bit, I just cut into pieces like this. It doesn't really matter, as long as it's even. I just cut the washed sugar snap peas in half, and then that's already done. We just slice the onion into layers. We don't need to think too much about it. Just cut it down like this. And fan out these individual pieces a bit. Because then this onion also plays the role of an additional vegetable and of course gives us flavor. With garlic, I sometimes like it when you can still see those garlic slices. That's how it should be this time. Anyone who prefers to chop it, certainly do that. This recipe is really not set in stone. Or anyone who prefers to use a garlic press is warmly invited to do so. I love a bit of spice in a rice dish. That's why we're taking our peppers here. I have halved them flat, and now I can scoop them out with a melon baller or, of course, with any regular teaspoon. Then the seeds are quickly removed. If you like it a bit spicier, just leave those seeds and the white ribs in, and you'll have a bit more kick. So we do the same with the green ones, and chop them finely. And then they go right into our pan. So everything is prepared. Here at the bottom are our pieces of bell pepper, mushrooms on top. The broccoli florets are ready. Sugar snap peas chopped up, garlic, chili peppers, that's going to be spicy, and onions. Let's take care of the meat. When it comes to meat, one thing is important. Of course, we can just throw everything into the pan like that, but every gourmet knows that beef should be cooked to a nice pink. Chicken and pork can be cooked a bit more. That's why we're frying them separately from the beef. Since these are slices we've kept from the roast anyway, we're going to cut them into small strips now. We're doing this with the pork, the beef, and also with the chicken. Just cut it down like that. So I've also have the chicken breast lengthwise so that these pieces aren't too big, because we want everything to go really quickly. And that helps when the meat is cut into small pieces. Today we have the wok from Hoffman ready to go. We're going to let it get really hot, and then the meat goes in there. So a little tip on the side. To find out if it's really hot enough, just drop a little bit of water in. Look, and when it's sizzling like this, you can be sure that's the right temperature. And now we put our meat into the wok. Look at how much heat it has. Just fan it out a bit. Like with goulash, we fry it a little patience, don't stir right away. First we want to sear the meat, so give the meat 2 minutes, and then we'll flip it over. And in the meantime, we can also cut our beef, just like the other meat, but we're searing this one separately. After a little more than a minute, the meat already looks like this. Shall we give it a stir? Aha, have some color. And we're going to create that on all the pieces. Either stir it or just give it a nice toss in the wok. And of course, this works not just in a wok, but also in a high-quality pan. So at the last moment, season this meat here. Pepper and salt. I always do it by type. That way, I know that I've seasoned each piece of meat just the way I want it. Beautiful. And then we can take this out already. There it is. The wok stays hot because the beef is going in now. So spread the beef out a bit so it doesn't clump together in there, because this needs to go really, really quickly. You can see how finely I've cut it. Just sear it briefly. So, and here the meat is already changing color a bit. We don't even need to turn it over. I know it's brown on the bottom. Yes, as I said, just give it a quick toss. This has to go really quickly here so it doesn't overcook, and season it right at this point. And immediately take it out again. Make sure to keep the juices that have formed from the chicken and pork. It's going back in right away. The wok is still hot. Now we're adding our remaining oil. And we start with the garlic pieces here and our chili peppers. We're going to let them saute a bit here for now. And you'll notice it creates an aroma that's irresistible. Don't let it burn, just saute it a little. And it works beautifully in a wok, of course. It's almost like in Asia. It smells amazing. Now we're adding our onions because they can melt a bit. To support the whole thing, a little salt because salt draws out water. Now we can add the next vegetables. It's really rocking here. Quick cooking in the wok. The bell peppers and mushrooms have a bit of shine. We can add our small broccoli pieces because they are raw and need a little time in the pan. And we let everything simmer together for 3 minutes. And lastly, we're adding the sugar snap peas because they really just need to be warmed up. That looks quite excellent. We're adding our vegetable broth and letting the vegetables come to a quick boil. The vegetables are perfectly cooked. Just right. All right, now we're adding our rice. Fold it in. Let it warm up for a moment. And as soon as it's warm, we add the meat. It's important at this point not to let it cook for too long because the rice is already cooked. It just needs to absorb a little moisture. And now we're adding our meat along with the meat juices. And please take a look at the result. Now that's a leftover rice stir fry if you ask me. We wish you a fantastic start to the new year. Stay loyal to us. Subscribe to our channel. Goodbye, dear ones. Best wishes from Hamburg.